Welcome. Today we explore a profound historical paradox. Why is the darkest day in history called Good Friday? To understand this mystery, we must look beyond the surface of extreme suffering and discover a divine purpose hidden within the shadows, the crucifixion of Jesus. Christ was not an unexpected tragedy or random accident in ancient politics gone terribly wrong. Instead, it was the ultimate fulfillment of a divine rescue plan, prophesied by ancient messengers centuries before the
Why do you not answer?
And this Friday was
You
chosen
stand
to be
before the
the
judgment
ultimate
seat of
turning
Rome.
point human
Tell me
history
plainly,
and
are you the king of the
Jesus
Jews or
stands
not?
before Pontius Pilate, facing severe accusations from the angry religious leaders gathered on that dark, fateful Friday morning. Pilate finds no actual fault in this quiet man, yet the restless crowd continues to scream loudly, brutal execution, giving in to intense political pressure. The Roman governor washes his hands and surrenders Jesus to their violent, bloodthirsty mob mentality. Soldiers mock the King of Kings, placing a painful crown woven from sharp thorns firmly upon his head. Heavily bruised head,
faster, we haven't got all day.
torment is unimaginable, but he endures every single strike with silent grace. Knowing this suffering serves a higher purpose, a heavy wooden cross is placed upon his torn shoulders, marking the beginning of his agonizing journey.
Get up! You deserve this!
With every painful step through dusty streets, the weight of humanity's sins presses down heavily upon his weak, exhausted frame.
You carry the crossbeam
He
now.
stumbles and
Let me
falls
take it.
multiple times under the crushing burden. While the crowd watches this tragic spectacle unfold with intense emotions, Simon of Cyrene is pulled from the watching crowd, forced by guards to help carry the massive cross for the Savior. Women weep openly by the roadside, mourning the innocent teacher who once healed their sick and offered hope to broken communities. Arriving at the place of the skull, the grim reality sets in as soldiers prepare long iron nails and heavy hammers. He is stripped of his garments, exposed to harsh elements and the mocking eyes of those who complete him. Misunderstood his mission. The sound of metal, striking metal echoes across the barren hill as they nail his hands to the rough wooden cross. The cross is raised into the sky, dropping into its hole with a sickening thud that sends shockwaves through the vein. Suspended between heaven and earth,
remember
Jesus
me when
becomes
you
the
come into
ultimate
your
bridge,
kingdom.
absorbing human hatred while offering pure,
Truly I say
unconditional
to you,
divine love
save
to
us,
everyone.
Messiah!
Beside him hang to
Are you not the Christ?
sharing the same horrific
Get us
fate
let
but
down from
possessing
here!
completely different attitudes toward the dying
Remember me,
central
Lord.
One criminal angrily mocks him, demanding a
When you
miraculous
come into your
rescue from
kingdom.
him. Cross if he truly holds the divine power claimed previously,
Lord,
but the second thief recognizes
remember me
his
when
own
you
guilt
come
and
into
sees the
your
innocent
kingdom.
majesty of Christ shining brightly in this dark hour. With humble faith, the repentant man simply asks Jesus to remember him when he finally enters his glorious, eternal heavenly kingdom. In a breathtaking moment of grace, Jesus promises the dying thief that they will certainly be together in paradise today. Looking down from the wooden cross, Jesus sees his weeping mother Mary standing faithfully beside his beloved, loyal disciple John. Even amidst his own suffocating agony,
Woman,
he ensures his grieving mother will
behold
be
your
loved
son.
and fully protected by his
Son,
closest friend. He
behold
speaks
your
tenderly
mother.
to them, establishing a new family bond
Father,
born not of blood,
forgive
but of
them,
shared devotion and
for they
divine
know
love.
not what
Then,
they do.
Looking over the soldiers who nailed him there, he utters words that forever
tunic
redefine
is
the
mine.
true meaning of radical forgiveness. Father,
We shall
forgive them,
see.
for they do not know what they are doing. This prayer
Throw the
echoes through
bones.
history, offering endless divine mercy. The sky above Golgotha begins to change unnaturally as a deep, terrifying darkness slowly creeps across the land during midday hours. For 3 agonizing hours, the sun refuses to shine, symbolizing the heavy spiritual weight of humanity's sin resting upon his shoulders. In this absolute darkness, the ultimate transaction of justice and mercy takes place, hidden from human eyes but felt universally forever. The physical toll reaches its absolute limit as Jesus struggles for every breath, his body completely drained of vital living strength,
My God!
knowing that
God!
everything required for
God!
salvation has now
Why
been
have you
accomplished.
forsaken
He gathers
me?
his final energy for one last powerful vocal declaration. With a loud, triumphant voice piercing the unnatural gloom, he cries out the most important words ever. It is completely finished. This was not a cry of defeat, but a glorious shout of complete victory over sin and death, and eternal separation. The debt of humanity is fully paid in his blood, satisfying the righteous requirements of a perfectly holy, just divine creator.
back, it's
Following
collapsing!
his final breath, the earth begins to shake violently, as if
Run,
creation
fall
itself
back!
reacts to the death of its maker. Rocks split apart.
The walls are
massive
cracking!
forces,
Get out, quickly!
terrifying the Roman guard as the Pontius miles away in the sacred temple. An even more miraculous and deeply symbolic event occurred simultaneously within the inner holy sanctuary. The massive, thick curtain separating the Holy of Holies from humanity is suddenly torn completely in two. From top to bottom, this dramatic tearing was an act of God, signifying that the rigid barrier between heaven and mankind was finally destroyed forever. Because of this ultimate sacrifice, direct access to the Creator is now fully available to anyone approaching with a believing heart. The Roman centurion, witnessing the earthquake and how Jesus died, is struck with profound awe, confessing, "Surely this was God's Son." As evening rapidly approaches, the broken body of the Savior is gently taken down from the cross by his grieving friends. They wrap him carefully in clean linen cloths, treating his wounded physical form with utmost respect and quiet. Heartbroken reverence today. He is laid to rest inside the newly carved stone tomb, a borrowed grave provided by a wealthy and secret royal follower. A massive stone is rolled securely across the entrance, sealing the tomb tight and seemingly locking away the hopes of disciples. Roman guards are stationed outside the sealed tomb, ensuring that no one steals the body to invent a false resurrection story. The disciples scatter in overwhelming fear and despair, believing that their promised Messiah was completely defeated by the powerful Roman Empire. Saturday arrives with heavy silence, a day of profound mourning and confusing darkness as the world waits without knowing what happens. But this is exactly why we call it Good Friday. The brilliant story of redemption absolutely does not end there. The terrible suffering and death were absolutely necessary steps to conquer the ultimate enemies of humanity, inescapable sin and eternal death. Good Friday is good because it represents the greatest act of pure, selfless love the universe has ever witnessed in history. It is the day divine justice and infinite mercy embraced upon a wooden cross, paving a clear path to spiritual freedom. Without the horrific pain of Friday, there could never be the glorious, triumphant joy of resurrection arriving on early Sunday morning. The cross stands forever as a powerful symbol, transforming an ancient instrument of cruel torture into
divine
an eternal
light,
beacon of hope. It reminds
please
us that
guide
even in
my
our darkest
heart.
moments of suffering, God is
Grant me
actively
your
working to
peace.
bring about ultimate, beautiful good. The message of Good Friday is that no one is beyond the reach of God's amazing grace and transformative divine forgiveness, just like the thief on the cross. All it takes is a simple, sincere turning of the heart toward the Savior. As we reflect deeply upon the shadow of the cross, we do not stay buried in the overwhelming sorrow of crucifixion. We look forward with brilliant hope, fully knowing that Friday's darkness is merely the necessary prelude to the bright Sunday sunrise. The sacrifice is finished, the heavy price is paid, and the eternal doors of heaven are now standing wide open forever. Thank you for watching. May the profound peace and eternal hope of this extraordinary event remain with you always.